As a youngster, there was a thing like in the early 70s was a Cadbury's milk tray advert, and there was the guy delivering the chocolates, you know, and he was driving an E-Type Jaguar, and the bridge had fallen down, so he just jumps the bridge in the E-Type and lands, and the lady gets her milk tray. And you know, I still can remember that advert really clearly. And being sort of 7, 8 years old when the V12 came out, you know, there was the big excitement of a 12-cylinder sports car, and I always remember the 4 exhaust pipes. And the thing with the E-Type is that when you actually understand them technically, not only are they a beautiful car, but they're so advanced for their time. So they were the absolute pinnacle of a classic car or the British sports car, because they've got saloon car comfort, and people rave about the XJ6 Series 1 because it's a magic carpet ride, best saloon car in the world. That came out in 1968 using the suspension the E-Type was introduced with in 1961. What we've always done is everything in-house. Right from the very beginning of Eagle, we've always had all our own fabrication equipment, we've done the fabrication work, we've always had our own paint shop, our own trim shop, so everything is done in-house, and that's why it works, because a lot of restorations, even with well-known restorers, you find that, yep, they get the car and the body goes to the body metalwork specialist, and then it goes to the best people for painting. Well, straight away they blame each other for the problems. So there's compromise number one. Then you have a painted car come back, so the first thing you do is that you send it to the electrician to put one wire in, and then you take it to the trim shop to put the sill trim in, for example, and then it goes to the workshop to have the suspension put in, and then it goes back to the trim shop, and then the electrician does something. So you can't have a car restored at lots of different places without some cost. So, you know, a compromise as a result. What's worked for us, Paul and Matthew, when we came down and built the first Eagles, it was literally Matthew built all the bodies and painted them and took them through to the painted shell, and Paul then processed the parts and built the cars up. So 2 guys built the car, and it's pretty much the same today. So that's what you're doing, is you're genuinely getting the ultimate bespoke hand-built car, because we build them one at a time. We've had quite a few people say, well, I bought a restored E-Type and it was all trouble and I wish I'd never seen one. And we said, didn't you know about us? And that's one of the issues, that we're probably the best kept secret in Europe, because people don't know the extent of the work we do. Even when they come to see us, they look at our website and they say, I had no idea that you do everything in-house and you're so focused and your attention to detail is totally uncompromised. You know, it's not a commercially driven business, it's a passion driven business. People often say, you know, after restoration, you've got 1,000 miles, then you've got 2 years of dialing out all the niggles and all the faults. And we said, to be honest, we did that on car 3. We finished that in 1996. So we now do build the cars. We know the problems. We know all the things we have to modify. We know where the rattles are. We know where the knocks come from. Occasionally we're let down by components. And as I say, if we are, we look at that component. Is there an alternative? Is it a supplier issue? And it's always a moving target, but we're always keeping an eye on the ball, and I think that's the difference. We've still got the interest and the passion to want to provide the best. We'd been 17 or 18 of us in the 80s in Kent, and as a conventional specialist, and thought, no, let's now only do fixed price, perfect restorations. Most restorations are like a house project, that you're given a price, and usually by the time the car's been taken to pieces and everything's laid out, the budget's been used up. So now your car's worth nothing, because it's just some boxes of, it's not a car anymore, it's just cardboard boxes of pieces that all need restoring or are broken or unrepairable. And what do you do now? So then you haven't got the budget to repair it properly. So we said, we'll take all of that worry away, and we will simply say, we will do you a ground up, perfect restored E-Type for a fixed price. And whatever we find wrong that's not reusable, we will stand the cost of replacing that item. That's what an Eagle E-Type is. It's a ground up, perfect restoration, which originally we guessed it was around 2,000 hours work, as just plucking a figure out the air. Unlike most places, we looked at the hours after it was finished, so we refused to look at time spent other than in analysis for the future, so we will never compromise. We actually found after car 5 or 6 that we were nearer 4,000 hours, and in fact the last 10 Eagles have averaged 3,970 hours, and there's less than 50 hours leeway between each car to the same spec. So we've spent literally the last 24 years nearly fine-tuning E-Type restoration to only do these ground up perfect restored cars. Now, a benefit from the fact they take 4,000 hours, it restricts it to 2 cars per year. So we started number 1 in '93, and we're just finishing car 36. So there are only 36 what we call a full Eagle E-Type in the world. I think it's the sum of the ingredients, isn't it? It's the location, the passion, and the people, isn't it? And the car. You know, they're a beautiful piece of art that happens to drive even better than it looks, you know. My name is Henry Pearman, and this is Eagle.